Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today we're covering the scene ATL. This is season 1, episode 8, and it is the grand finale. And to me, it's the best episode of the whole season. Anyways, I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Like, comment, share, and you can also subscribe. Now let's get into this episode. All right, so we begin where we left off on last week's episode, and that was this big old clash of the titans between Scotty and JT. I felt like, when I really thought about it after I had already reviewed and watched, with JT, how JT was maneuvering with Scotty, it was like, okay, I'm not getting him with this, so I gotta get him with that, because all of a sudden she beelined over to just talking about, like, y'all gaslighting me, after Scotty was like, don't talk about my friends, Anyway, JT feels like Scotty doesn't validate her. Even when we're having discussions or whatnot, you just dismiss me, all for whom you have as your friends. And I just really want to tell my side. And Scotty was like, that's not the issue. You're talking about one of my friends. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be caught up in anything. And you have a history of start talking about people that I am close to. And then I won't say that he's in the middle of the mess, but you put me in awkward positions because you want to talk about this person and that person, and I don't want to talk about them. Go have your discussions with them and leave me up out of it. What JT feels like, she feels like whom she would do this with, as far as discussing other friends with another friend. It's the caliber of relationship that she feels like she has with Scotty, where she can just deliberate certain things, and you can just hear me vent, say what you need to say if you want to give your opinions or not, and then we move on. Scotty has this loyalty about himself, about his friends. When it started getting messy, especially with Slut Bucket, I thought it was Slut Monkey, but anyways, he was like, no. But Scotty did say that this was supposed to be private and wasn't supposed to be brought out on camera like this anyway. So Carl was thinking, okay, this may not be the best place to try to solve anything because we're having a lot of one-off conversations, and it looks like there needs to be a whole lot more discussed within the group. Of course, Carl is going to Miami, and we know what that Miami trip is. If you're watching Chasing Atlanta, I saw some slaps, some confrontations, and all that stuff. So anyways, what was I saying? He said, let's get together. It'll be after the book signing. Carl won't be there because he's got to go to Miami. And they kind of agreed to that. Carl was wanting to speak up for both people, Scotty and also JT. He spoke up for JT first, just saying, hey, look. JT likes to address problems because one thing that Scotty says that you always have a problem, you always have an issue, you create stuff, A lot of that stuff was just even last week too, but it's just like, everything's not an issue. Everything that no, don't come over here with me with all the stuff. Carl said, look, we just those people that we don't hold it in, we just like to address it and see if we can move on from there. Also, Carl said, look, I know Scotty, and one thing that he is loyal to his friends. And if there was mutual respect at those perspectives, it would work better. But if you just still want to steamroll your way into a type of dynamic, it's always going to look intrusive. It's always going to look like you're crossing boundaries. Just because, and you can't, and this is for anybody, you just can't say, well, that's my personality. That's just how I do things. No. That's good for who you are. That's not our relationship together. And you can't do that if I haven't even given you that permission to do that. You have boundaries and I have boundaries. So respect that. And not what you want to do, because this is what you do. However, for a reality show, I'll be saying that for a couple of times during this review, but I get it. At the same time, you still got to deal with these people when that camera gets off, JT. So, but I do feel like JT wants the full benefits package of Scotty's friendship and relationship. She wants the medical, the dental. She feels like she already paid the deductible, so my medication is free. and any other bonuses. And from my standpoint, it doesn't look like you made it there yet, because you were again coming against a friend or venting, however you want to talk, explain or express yourself or label it, a friend that Scotty has been friends with many years, close with for many years, and y'all still getting to know each other. If a person tells you no, respect that. Yeah, JT feels like Scotty makes her look like the villain. But it's just like, in these situations, when you start presenting yourself and bringing stuff up, you got loud opinions and quite direct opinions. It could be a lot, especially on things you think you know, or you know what you know on your end, but you don't know what's going on within the camp. It makes it look like, get away. Like, why are you here? You know? But anyways, the conversation switched. How it happened, I don't know. But beforehand, Scotty was like, you got it. Even when you don't got it, you got it. It switched over to Scotty now speaking on him being attacked, essayed. Of course, we did see in episode 5 that he talked about it, but now he's sharing it amongst JT and also Carl. It was weighing particularly heavy that day. Scotty actually revealed in the chat, I was actually in the chat, talking on the live chat, and he revealed that that day that he was filming was the anniversary of what that dude did to him. He talked a little bit about it, and about, you know, still pondering on if he wanted to tell his mother or not. JT says, you know, you do what's best for you. You may not want to tell your mom. If you feel like that, like, do that if it's something to bring a healing for you, or to help your mother understand you even better. JT speaks on her own one of her essay moments of violations. I'm just telling you, this scene right here, I really had to sit in. I couldn't move from this scene for a while. That's why I'm kind of late. Well, I'm not kind of late. I'm late on my review, and then also trying to find time too. But it's just like, I think I've watched this episode about 4 or 5 times now, just to let y'all know. Yeah, and the stuff that happened to her, if these violators really knew the shit y'all really do to a person. Anyways, JT has decided to she's resilient, and she's been able to heal and move on from it. When she told her mom, hey, this is what happened, da-da-da-da-da, and I'm choosing to move on, and her mother respected it. And I think, and the person specifically for that specific altercation is married to one of her cousins right now. Scotty's attacker is known amongst the family too. It's a lot. Now, I already said I was violated, but I was molested. It wasn't an attack per se. Mine is amongst people that amongst my family too. And again, I'll tell my story another day. But my heart goes out to you, JT. I know that you've moved on to a state that you can really just live your life as it is right now. But my heart still goes out for you. My prayers for you, and I hate that that happened to you. Scotty does break down. And there was 2 things. Well, the first thing that caught my eye with JT, while Scotty was telling his story, she poured wine, and it got me in the mind frame like, yo, we in this thing together, yo. You know, let me pour you some wine, and we just gonna chill for a while, and you just talk to me or talk to us. You know, that was just a kind of connection for me outside of the next thing that was just so sentimental. While JT is speaking and just trying to keep the conversation going, because they are filming right now, talking with Carl. Of course, Scotty's just having a bad time right then. She grabs his arm or his hand and comforts him, and like that's so cool. That was so wonderful to see. I think despite whatever type of frustration that is between Scotty and JT, there is a beautiful bond and a beautiful connection between one another. And as JT has stated in the last couple episodes, these are growing pains that they got to get through. Carl speaks about trauma. When his mother passed away, he was no good for a while. So at some point, Carl got up and wanted to comfort Scotty, but he's not a reactor to emotions and don't know how to really navigate through that. So he did what only Carl could do in that moment. But yeah, it was quite a great moment. Yeah, again, I just sat there for a while. My heart goes out to everyone that's dealing with the traumatic part of the abuse that you faced. And my prayers are for y'all, and we're gonna make it. We are going to make it. No, so the next scene is Scotty. Scotty meets YouTubers, Jamie That's Me, and Simply Sakina. Now, I am familiar with both of them. I do watch their content. I love both of them. So shout out to them. They meet and they talk about the book. And they're so excited it's the book release. I forgot which one actually came. One of them couldn't come. I didn't write it down. Of course, he's in his confessional and he's saying that the book, which is in the top 70, and I think the goal was to get in the top 80. I think that is great and phenomenal for you. First time author. Scotty begins to talk to them because they are content creators, branching out beyond just the regular reviews that he does of different shows, reality shows and all that. And really want to talk about music and other topics and all that. And Jamie just gave the advice, just do it. Do it. It don't matter how many numbers it'll pick up eventually. If you just get into the algorithm, I mean, you have a faithful fan base, and some can be just familiar with you and just turn to you for what you're normally giving them. But mostly, I could just say from that saying from the old movie, if you build it, they will come. So I do have my own copy of That's Why You're Lonely. And we're going to talk about it in just a second. Okay, so we're at Scotty's book release, and Scotty's just having a time. As many people that if you're trying to really get something off the ground or to have an event, a lot of things go wrong. Despite all of that, he persevered through it. However, he's feeling a type of way within himself. We see that while during the book release, some of Scotty's family's there. His mother, his father, his brother. He did say a sister, and we know that there's some cousins there also. We also see Sweet Tea there, and other friends. His friend Josiah, which I do watch him too, and see him on different panels too. So shout out to him. Josiah's World TV, I think it is. But anyway, shout out to him. Sweet Tea from Married to Medicine, she was there. She gave words. Scotty's brother gave words. Scotty's mother and father gave words. It was a really sentimental moment, and it's always great to just see people who really love you that can really say encouraging words and to push you forward. Let's see. DJ was talking about the book, That's Why You're Lonely. And that's how a friend should be. Speaking in his confessional, speaking sequels, seeing movies, TV shows based off of that. I think it was wonderful. Now, if y'all have not gotten your copy, go on to Amazon and get it. I'm still reading it and just blown away. Leslie, we need to have a talk, but not really, because you got the stankiest attitude that I've ever seen in my life. But there's something behind all that. Now, I've just gotten to the part where I've learned a secret, which I think that there are more secrets, but I haven't gotten that far. I'm like, oh, Leslie. Oh, she is something else with her husband, Aiden, and also her friend group, which they just tolerate her. We got Brandy. Brandy's getting over her man cheating on her, and she taking him back. We got Sade. Now, that one is a case study. Because I thought, when I was first reading, that she wasn't the problem. But I said, what? Plot twist? Oh, yeah. We got, with Sierra. Now, I done got to the part, after she had such a high in the dating life, I done got to that point. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Ooh. Now, I haven't seen the revenge yet. There's a revenge plot she got because of something that happened in her relationship, a person that she's dating. I'm waiting to see what happens. Who else is there? Leslie, Brandy, Sade, Sierra. I said Brandy, right? Rashida. Now, Leslie treats her like horse manure. But she says that there's something about her that she don't like. And she feels like her intuition is always correct. Now, I'm waiting to see, I haven't gotten to any bad parts with Rashida as of yet. So, because the character's name is Rashida, and we know how Scotty feels about a Rashida, the Georgia prune, I just know we're going to see something trifling come about of Georgia prune within this book. But yeah, I'm enjoying this book. Again, get your copy. This is what it looks like. Go get your copy and read it. All right, yeah, so congratulations, Scotty, on your book release. Many, many, many more releases. Much favor, much success coming your way. Stay in the top 70 and above. And I've heard that there are sequels that are coming out, and I will read those too and support you on that. All right, so let me see. So, Bando meets the family. It's a wonderful time. Bando is in his feelings, being around family, and we'll get into that a little bit more. And I love seeing that for him. Of course, now that the good stuff has happened, we got to get into the mess. When we thought the day was just going to be lovely, DJ, Bando, Scotty, and JT, they're sitting outside, having a little casual talk. And then all of a sudden, JT asks, "Can I ask a question?" And it started. Now, JT gave us a great monologue. She gave us a Dixie Carter, Julia, a Sugar Baker monologue. Have anyone seen the TV show Designing Women? It was back on in like, I think the late 80s, 90s, whatever. But anyways, it's kind of like the, somewhat of the up-to-date Golden Girls, but working women, even though the other world. But it was kind of a Golden Girls type of show. Anyway, she gives this monologue, and she starts in on Bando. Now, I thought it was going to be this whole JT thing since it was just such a high point during her argument with Scotty, but no, we got on Bando because something done came across JT's desk. Shout out to Quad. Obviously, there's this post in this video of Bando and another person looking very provocative, and it looked very suspect. And she was ready to confront Bando and just say, "Hey, y'all tried to play me for play. Y'all tried to make me think I was crazy. What is this, Bando?" Bando had his talk back. What is it to you? Like, it's content. That's all it is. No, you're doing too much. No, it's content. All I know is that you shouldn't be out here looking. You shouldn't be looking a certain way. And it looks like you're playing in Scotty's face. Unbeknownst to JT, Scotty already knew. Scotty already talked to Bando about it. However, she said, "Oh, y'all talk? Well, now I'm going to talk about it." Oh, JT. Oh, JT. Oh, no. So there's this pool table video. I didn't see it until the other day on Stylish TV's Instagram. I was like, oh, okay. I get it. But she's going into, because, you know, she lives in the Potomac streets, and people want to talk to her. Now, JT is no disrespect. Why everybody come to you? Why did they come to you specifically? I mean, did they know that you were doing a show at the time and you needed to bring this up? Like, it was just like, everybody comes to you specifically. And you get the party jumping with the team. Scotty already knew. But you got to look at the perception of things, and Bando's not really hearing it. Then he started talking about get your shows together. And then JT was like, "Remember which show that you are on now." That's right, JT. I got to give her that. Then JT was like, "I'm going to address whatever needs to be addressed, and stop moving like a slut bucket." Here we go. Now, Scotty's pissed because, okay, you wanted to confront him. My family's out here. They just met him, and now you're spreading out there that he's some slut bucket. What's up? Why couldn't you leave it alone? At least at that moment. Um, and then Bando, in his confession, he had a bottle of Ray. JT, see, this is the problem. Why did you want to mess with him? He's a Gemini. You know he comes with calamity and chaos. Why did you mess with him? I said, Lord. DJ saw the post. He contacted Delon and Charles, which I think Charles is Delon's man, about it. And he was just wondering if Scotty knew anything about it. However, he was not going to bother him on his book release, but I will talk to him about it. And that's what you should have followed, JT. However, this is a reality show too. So it's like, you got to get the content. I get it. I do. The argument's still going on. Vandalson's still saying it's content, da-da-da-da-da. And JT was like, it's content, but it's mess. It's mess, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And of course, it's giving that you're playing in his face. And Vando asked Scotty, do you think I'm playing in your face? And JT was like, of course he would say it, not saying yes to this. I don't know about that now, JT. But probably not to y'all. I don't think that he would admit it to y'all. So, yeah. So maybe you got that right. But he said it's how it looks. See? He agrees with me, JT. I'm like, well, anyways, Bando's not hearing it because you just decided to come at me the way that you did, and I'm not giving you nothing. And they still going at it with their banter. JT saying, move better. And then her confessionals. You trying to call me crazy? Like you looking crazy? Looking very bouncer realness. Got that jean vest on, bouncer clothes. I said, Lord. Again, Scotty's pissed. Anyways, at that point, JT wants to talk with DJ alone. And Ben was like, oh, alone? Oh, you you can do that alone, but you want to do this out here. Oh, gosh. So they finally go off. We haven't seen it. I'm waiting. JT did say that they're going to air the unreleased footage between her and DJ. And I might just do a reaction video to it. Because, yeah, I'm interested in that conversation. Then Scotty and Bando, they have their little conversation after the pull-up between JT and all them. Scotty said, we already talked, but do you understand what this looks like? And he said, yeah. Well, how come you didn't tell her that? I wasn't going to tell her that. And you know what? I wouldn't either. I wouldn't even give her the satisfaction. Since you want to blow up my spot, or think you're blowing up my spot, and do what you can to embarrass me, and think that you no. So I wouldn't give you nothing either. I'd be that petty. Yeah, I know how it looks, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like Scotty does not mind it. He doesn't care like that. It's just like, look, it's going to be perceived a certain way, and you're just going to have people coming at me, or coming at us. I think that regardless, people are going to come at y'all, but don't help it. However, I still think that Bando should stay true to himself. And at least Scotty and Bando know what they're doing. It's content. And that's it. That's it. You know, and that's all there is to it. And everyone else can think whatever. Just be respectful and know your place as when you're trying to confront people and doing whatever you need to do on the side, in my opinion. Let me see where we're at. Bando goes and sits with some of Scotty's family, specifically one of the cousins who is a social worker, was talking and empowering Bando. I think Bando had some tears. However, the camera position wasn't really that great, but that's not here or there. She was speaking life into him and to kind of switch his mindset on certain things, and not confess this and all of that. Bando did reveal that he was in foster care. I don't know if he was adopted or not. Fun fact about me, I am adopted. I was taken from my parents just a couple of months in me being born. I was placed with one foster family, and I was adopted out at the age of 3. I don't know your whole story, but I understand a little bit about the foster care system and then also being adopted. He does not know his parents. I don't know my parents outside of whatever my first few months living on Earth. They passed away years ago, back in like 1999 or something. But yeah, I never have had a chance to meet them. And I'll tell that story another day too. So after that, because I saw Scotty get up and it looked like he wanted to comfort Bando. And as I said, the camera position wasn't in favor of us seeing exactly what happened. But I'm glad that he had that talk and just having a release, and his family could pour into him. And it looks like he really needed that. Scotty and JT, they have it out. But it's mostly just Scotty saying, hey, you was wrong. You was wrong. And I don't need you to come to my defense like that. You can have your opinions about this, da 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 da. At the end of the day, I'm still going to do what the F I want to do. And it's also the time and place that you decided to do all this stuff. That was foul. Now, we could bring up the fact that JT did say, look, I'm going to be bringing up some stuff at your book release. And don't you step in. Scotty didn't step in. I think what was brought at what time and where was the issue. It was like, look, we could have had some type of gathering. You could have done that right there. Not there. JT is calm and she's apologizing and all that. And Scotty said, I felt disrespected. And JT feels like I wasn't doing it in a disrespectful way like that. She doesn't feel that. And she said, regardless of how you feel or what your intentions were, listen to me. Know that I was disrespected. And you did this on a day where I'm already stressed out. I'm at my limit, and then you do that. It's too much. It was too much on this day, and you added. Now, JT, before you got started, Scotty already said what it was like. Just saying. He was saying what his day was. So you did kind of, but I think JT just ate it up and just allowed Scotty to spew in there. Scotty said, look, we can still continue to be Karen and Giselle, but I just need you to stop making my business the National Enquirer. Now JT tried to hug him. Let me show these pictures. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, there was this brother and sister duo. Like, I think it's like the first day of school. The little sister, the parents wanted them to hug or take a picture together or something like that. And she would never do it. She would stand over there, have an attitude and all that. That's what reminded me at that moment. So you could just say they kind of got this brother and sister type of vibe going on. So that was funny. Stop being media takeout. Okay, y'all, the light hasn't come on around here. I don't know why, but I apologize. Please excuse me, but we must move on. So JT, she has this acting opportunity. She's going to be a part of a series called The Deception. Both her and Delon are aspiring actors and are wanting to get out there in the world and wanting to bring Delon around to kind of get into the know of the who's who, possibly. Not so much as having an opportunity there, but still make her face known, or his face known. But anyways, JT says, so I heard that you were upset with me. And Delon was saying, no, that wasn't the terminology that I used. There was some terminology I did not use, which was, I was pissed. Meaning, like, I don't want you to think that I would ever put you in that predicament just to let you know that I got your back. I wasn't going to do that. They talk about what was happening in regards to JT not picking up when I called and all that stuff. And the message wasn't conveyed that this was happening. Now, I'm a little bit confused. The JT said in the confessional that while the stuff was going on with JT's roommate, that Delon called her. So at that point, did y'all actually speak? Because I thought the situation happened that same day, or at least whatever happened, unless the altercation happened between you and the roommate. Y'all talked, but somewhere down the line, when the line's opening was and brunch situation, y'all didn't talk then. Or somehow, I don't know, it seemed like at the first of the altercation, according to JT, I guess y'all talked. But then you did escape from everyone because you needed to process things and weren't communicating at that point. I'm a little bit confused on that. So hopefully there's some clarity when the reunion happens. Then, of course, there's all the side eyes and extra about DJ. DJ has been putting his mouth on things that he shouldn't. And Delon was like, is that literally or figuratively? And JT said both. I said, oh. Now, I have a feeling that DJ's going to be the new target for season 2, but we shall see. But JT at this moment is saying that she's still feeling DJ out. But you got some feelings behind that. So that feeling out is going to be a lot. But I think that DJ can handle you too, JT, because I think y'all both got a mouth. And he looks quick with it. He's quiet, but lethal. I can see that in him. Anything else? And then they go over some lines for JT as she prepares for the thing that she's doing for the deception. All right, to the last. Bando and Scotty. Bando takes Scotty out. This is after the whole book release. And Bando just talks about his feelings and how he just felt and even being welcomed with the family. Scotty says, he felt great about that. And then also with his sister being there, that there's an open door for reconciliation. Bando said that he was almost got emotional as far as having tears when he was hearing Scotty's brother start expressing himself about Scotty and all of that. It really had him in awe just to see that his family he could see a positive image of a family together and loving on each other and speaking good of one another. And then Bando said, and your friend, talking about JT. So Bando says that, I don't know what you've discussed with JT about me and us. And Scotty said, I haven't really talked about you until the other day, which was I did express how I actually felt about you. He said that was like a couple of days or so ago. But anyways, and Scotty also said that he met Vondell. And now it's to my understanding that Vondell is the person that's in the video with Bando. Then it's time to talk about them. What about us? Bando says, I have not stepped up. And the reason I haven't stepped up is because he doesn't want to make the same mistakes. Scotty says, what are those mistakes? Well, jumping into a relationship and not really getting to know someone, getting too serious with a person without really getting to know a person. Also, in regards to he not having everything together. So it's just one of those things where he doesn't feel really comfortable of someone else being provider, and he can't really pull his part as he thinks that he should. And he said that he understands that that's part of his ego too. He, in his confessional, says that one of his best friends put him in a bad situation and it really set him back. And dealing with that and just really climbing up out of whatever the situation was. And that has just really taken a toll on him. But he's fighting through it and he's making it through it. He did speak about, if he was together with Scotty, knowing that the position that he's in right now, although it's about him and Scotty, at the same point, you got all of these people from the outside already saying that I'm a user, a clout chaser. I hear that every day. Do you know how much of a toll that has to be on someone? You know you. However, people are saying this, and you know your situation, and people still want to say whatever. Now, I can't say that, Bando, you don't bring some of that stuff on yourself. But I still think that there are a lot of thirsty people out there that like mess. outside of you. I'm not taking any blame off of you, but I think some of that stuff you do cause. And I don't think that you cause it in a way. It's not like you're trying, how can I say this? Let's just say, I guess people want to treat you like the bad boy Bobby Brown. Just so destructive. Now, I don't know what all people see. Honestly, I don't. I really don't. So maybe that's why I just see you as I see you on the show. That's fine. That's all I got. That's all I got from you. You know? But anyways, it's just like nobody wants to actually reach out. And not saying that the people that are around you close. I'm not saying about that. But when you have 90% of people, right, it's just like, could anyone think that there's something deeper going on or something else going on that you would just want to put this perception on him? But again, a lot of people are thirsty in the wrong way. Specifically towards Bando, but that's in general for a lot of people out there. So, he's not the person that wanted to depend on anyone else. I understand that. Because I've been for the life of me trying to figure out how do people just say, I want them to take care of me. Like, I can't do it. It's just like, I wouldn't feel comfortable in that. And that's not the thing. But anyway, Scotty wanted to ask a question, you know, just to, let's put things in perspective. We've known each other since November 2023. So I think by now, we got a good idea of who each other are. We know each other. So can we scratch that off the list as one of your hang-ups as to not really committing to me? He didn't say that, but basically, yeah. And he also said, you know, nobody's perfect. Now, I never said the perfect word, Bando said, but do you think I have everything together? He said, well, pretty much, yeah. I mean, you're at a different stage of life than I am at that I want to get up to. And he says, well, I don't have everything together myself. At my level, I'm still climbing some hills and valleys and going, you know, I'm navigating. So, hey, so we done knocked off 1, 2, and 3. What's the big things? Scotty in his confessional says, look, I'm ready for a relationship, even during the time that me and Bando were just friends and all of that. I did try to date a couple other people, but it didn't work out because I want what I want, and I want Bando. And he couldn't take anybody else seriously. I said, that's right, Scotty. That's right. So as we're talking, there's a little bit of banter because Scotty has revealed to Bando that he was getting jealous when he was looking at some of that content. And Bando was like, oh, he just finds that just cute and cuddly and fun. Some people like that stuff, but I mean, yeah. But anyways, Scotty was perceiving that Bando does have more like and more feelings than what he has been admitting to Scotty. And he says, it seems like there's a question you need to ask me. Now, we jump ahead a few months later. The question was asked. So it's now Scotty and Bando forever. Ever. They finally figured it out. They finally worked it out. So congratulations to Scotty and Bando. I'm happy that you guys were able to find your way back to each other in the romantic way. It seems like you guys are good for each other. I think y'all need each other. And I'm happy for you all. And I celebrate it. I celebrate love. I celebrate companionship, friendship, and everlasting connection between you two. And y'all were able to do this on a reality show while your relationship or what it is was on display on a major scale that you had to really just like, shut out the noise and still try to see if there's anything worth us really holding on and actually making a relationship. Now, I don't know what y'all hashtag sign will be. Will it be body, B-O-T-T-Y? Or will it be, what else am I saying? Scando? Maybe that. But people were talking about a spinoff of y'all. I thought of a couple of names that y'all could name it. Scotty and Bando, Figuring It Out, or We Figured It Out. You know, so whatever. So congratulations to Bando and Scotty and Bando. Thank you for sharing. Now, it's time for my final thoughts. Okay, so I've been nice. I'm still gonna be nice, but I got some things to say. I don't have to talk about anything technical. Look, y'all are aware of the issues, whatever. I'm good. I wish I knew how to help you. If I did, I would really offer my support and how to do that. However, since I can't, I am going to speak life. That everything is getting better, and I know that you guys are going to get better. So, hey, it is what it is. How I feel about the show. I think the show has potential. I don't know how this is going to go. The premises of the show was supposed to be this collective group, and I thought it was more people that had things going on, and they're kind of collabing with each other and all that. The show, this first season, to me, feels like it was Scotty in the game. Scotty was the major player, and he had the majority of the storylines. JT, you gave one too. Delon, you gave yours. It was at the beginning, and then we didn't see you no more for a while. Even though it was just 8 episodes, it's hard for people, as us as fans, to try to get to know y'all if y'all not showing up. We know the most about Scotty, and we've been able to connect with Scotty on another level because he's really shared a lot. I understand life is life, and hopefully that there are changes where there's an active cast. We understand where Carl was at. We understand the stuff that JT was going through now, but I'm interested in more than Scotty. We saw the business side of Delon, and we do know that you have a relationship, but we really didn't delve into much personal, no type of personal stuff outside that you do have a man. So hopefully it's just not going to be Scotty in the game. He's a major player and on the scene. Lean into him as much as he will allow y'all, but he deserves a break. So I do think that the show has potential on a personal level as far as reality TV. I'm somewhat burned out about it, and it's more on the more commercial side of it. I'm more interested in more of the independent folks and what they got going on. So you still have my interest. I am a fan, I'm a supporter, and if there's any way that I can support in different ways than watching, sharing, and viewing, I will do what I can and sign me up. So I'm a lover of Stylish TV's content, and I think Stylish TV is going to be around for a long time. Much success. Have a great reunion, you all. Hopefully we see more of DJ. He did explain what was going on with him, so hopefully he can be more active because I really want to get to know him. As I said in my earlier reviews, episodes 1 and 2, I just felt or whenever he came about, I don't know if it was like episode 2 or 3. But anyways, I just felt a drawing towards him. And I don't know what that was all about, but I really like him. My heart has softened for Bando. Just, there's a connection there in regards to some familiar things that I've been through, that he's been through. So it's just like, as what was stated in the beginning of the season, you're misunderstood. And I went with that, with what DJ said and also Scotty said. And I was ready for a journey. And as you're opening up, I thank you for still opening up, despite all the confrontations and you being put on blast and showcased about the stuff that you were doing or not doing, and people having this perception. You still wanted to open up and let people in because you could have still been petty or just say, I'm gonna let y'all believe what y'all want to believe. And to a degree you did, because it's like you told your story when you were ready to tell it. And I'm glad that you did, and I'm glad that you were opening up to allow people to see something else. And I hope that you still lean into that. And Carl, hopefully we see more of you. We know what was going on there. So yeah, I'm here. I'm sticking around. That's all I got, y'all. I forgot one more thing. I'm kind of ranking some of the episodes. I said that this one was the best episode of the season, and it's still true to me. Episode 5 comes in second. Episode 2 comes in third. And then it'd be episode 3, I think. Or episode 7 and 3. Probably episode 1 would rank the lowest, but it was still good. we still watch, you know. Hey, but yeah, but those are my rankings. What are your rankings? I think I said everything. Did I say anything about episode 4? No. 1 and 4. But what are your rankings if you would rate this season as far as best episodes? I forgot one thing as I was editing. There's one more person that I need to really speak to right quick. Miss JT, come to the front. I'm not going to say anything bad. I'm going to give you your flowers. Why I'm giving you your flowers is I see you as the creator and executive producer. And I can appreciate out of you being an executive producer that gets into the paint. Not a lot of them will do that, even being on the cast. If you look at the greats like Shawnee O'Neal, she was always on cast. But guess what? This is what she was doing. That's what she was doing for most of her tenure. There's only a few times that she actually stepped up and did something. So I appreciate you for wanting the show to do well, and you are willing to do anything and everything as far as what it takes to get it done. So shout out to you. I do appreciate you all for coming. Like, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, I can't wait for the reunion. Peace.